Before the Pevensies stepped into the wardrobe, before the White Witch ruled Narnia, there was another story, one that began with two children, a set of mysterious rings, and a magical world in the making. Today, we're diving into The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis, a timeless prequel to the Chronicles of Narnia that explores the origins of Narnia, the White Witch, and the wardrobe itself. Our story begins in London, where young Digory Kirk has just moved in with his Aunt Letty and Uncle Andrew. His mother is gravely ill, and Digory longs for adventure to escape his worries. He soon befriends Polly Plummer, the girl next door, and together they explore their connected attics, until one day they stumble into Uncle Andrew's forbidden study. Uncle Andrew is no ordinary man. He fancies himself a magician, but his magic isn't for dazzling tricks. It's something far more dangerous. He tricks Polly into touching a golden ring, and in an instant, she vanishes. Horrified, Digory demands to know where she has gone. Uncle Andrew smugly explains that he has crafted these rings using dust from another world. The yellow rings send people away, while the green rings bring them back. Digory has no choice. If he wants to rescue Polly, he must take a yellow ring himself. Digory finds Polly in a strange, tranquil place, a vast, silent forest filled with shimmering pools. They call it the wood between the worlds, a gateway to countless universes. Curious, they decide to explore another world, stepping into one of the pools. They arrive in Charn, a once mighty kingdom now in complete ruin. In the great palace, they discover a hall of images, a long line of statues depicting Charn's rulers. Some look noble and kind, but as they progress, the faces turn cruel and arrogant. In the center of the hall, a bell with a warning tempts them. Against Polly's protests, Digory rings it. The sound echoes, the palace trembles, and one statue, a tall, powerful woman, suddenly awakens. She is Queen Jadis, the last ruler of Charn. Jadis reveals that she wiped out every living soul in Charn using the deplorable word, a spell that destroyed her enemies rather than surrender her throne. She is ruthless, vain, and thirsty for power. Realizing the danger she poses, Digory and Polly try to escape back to the wood between the worlds, but Jadis grabs onto them at the last second. In the confusion, they all tumble into the shimmering pool, only to land right back in London. For the first time in her life, the witch is powerless. This world has no magic, but she is still terrifying. Within moments, she seizes Uncle Andrew, who had been anxiously waiting for the children's return, and commands him to serve her. Jadis, eager to establish her rule, storms through the streets, causing absolute mayhem. She seizes a cabbie, a simple, kind-hearted man driving his horse, Strawberry, through the city. In the commotion, police officers try to restrain her, but she tosses them aside with ease. Meanwhile, Uncle Andrew, now utterly terrified, tries to convince her to stop. Realizing that they must act fast, Digory and Polly use the rings again to pull the witch out of London. But in the process, they accidentally bring Uncle Andrew, the cabbie, and Strawberry, the horse, along with them. The group lands in a strange, empty void. There is no sky, no ground, no light, just endless darkness. Then a sound begins to rise. A deep, powerful voice begins to sing. Aslan has arrived, and with his song, the world of Narnia is born. As Aslan continues his song, the empty land comes to life. Hills rise, rivers flow, trees stretch toward the sky, and plants bloom all around them. Animals appear, some chosen to become talking beasts, gifted with intelligence and speech. But not everyone watches in awe. The witch, Jadis, is terrified. She senses that Aslan is no ordinary lion. Desperate, she snatches a piece of iron from a London lamppost that was pulled into Narnia with her and hurls it at him. The iron bar lands in the ground, and to everyone's astonishment, it grows into a full lamppost, glowing as if it has always belonged there. Aslan doesn't even acknowledge the witch's attack. Realizing she is powerless against him, Jadis flees into the distant mountains, where she will hide for many years, waiting for the right moment to return. Meanwhile, Aslan turns his attention to the cabbie, a kind and humble man. Recognizing his good heart, Aslan tells him that he will be the first king of Narnia, but the cabbie hesitates. How can he be a king without a queen? He tells Aslan that he cannot rule alone. His wife should be by his side, as she is the best person he knows. Aslan agrees. With a single call, Aslan summons the cabbie's wife, Nellie, into Narnia. She arrives in a flash of golden light, bewildered but overjoyed to see her husband. Aslan blesses them both and crowns them as King Frank and Queen Helen of Narnia. And so, the first rulers of Narnia are not warriors nor lords, but a simple cab driver and his loving wife, chosen not for power, but for kindness and wisdom. As he watches Aslan's power and kindness, Digory dares to ask something that has been weighing on his heart. Could Aslan heal his mother? But Aslan does not answer immediately. Instead, he tells Digory that he has brought evil into Narnia by allowing the witch to enter this world. Now he must take responsibility. Aslan sends Digory on a quest, not just for Narnia, but for himself. He must travel to a distant garden and bring back an apple, one that will protect Narnia from the witch's return. And so, with a new purpose, Digory sets out on a journey that will change everything. To aid him in his quest, Aslan transforms the cab horse Strawberry into a magnificent flying creature, Fledge, giving him great feathered wings. With Polly riding behind him, Digory soars through the sky toward the unknown. The journey is long, and the trio must stop for the night. With no food, they settle for the wild fruits Fledge finds growing nearby. At last, Digory reaches his destination, a walled garden of immense beauty, filled with silver trees. At the gate, he sees an inscription, "Come in by the gold gates or not at all. Take of my fruit for others or forbear. For those who steal or those who climb my wall shall find their heart's desire and find despair." Obeying the warning, Digory enters properly and finds the silver apples glowing like moonlight. He carefully picks one and turns to leave. But just as he reaches the gate, he freezes. The witch is already there. She has eaten one of the apples and now looks even stronger than before. Her beauty is cold and terrible, and her voice is smooth as she speaks. Jadis tempts him, telling him that this apple has given her everlasting life, and it could do the same for him. She even offers him something even harder to resist, a chance to heal his mother. She whispers that no one will know if he takes another apple, one for himself, one for his mother. He could go home, give it to her, and she would live forever. No pain, no death, just a simple choice. For a moment, Digory hesitates, but deep down he remembers Aslan's words, the warning at the gate, and something inside him knows the truth. This offer is a trap. With firm resolve, he turns away from the witch and walks through the golden gate. The witch does not follow. She does not stop him. Instead, she simply watches as Digory makes the hardest but right choice. Digory presents the apple to Aslan, who plants it in the earth. Almost immediately, the ground trembles, and a magnificent tree bursts forth, its silver branches swaying in the wind. This is the tree of protection. As long as it stands, Jadis will not return. The very fruit that could have corrupted Digory now becomes Narnia's shield. And then, Aslan does something Digory never expected. He picks a single apple from the tree and hands it to him. "For my mother?" Digory asks. Aslan nods. Because Digory resisted temptation, Aslan gives him exactly what he desired, but the right way. This apple will bring healing, not through stolen power, but through grace. Digory's journey is complete. Now it is time to go home. In an instant, Digory, Polly, and Uncle Andrew are back. The dusty attic, the familiar walls, the weight of reality settling in. But Digory barely notices, because clutched in his hand, still warm, is the silver apple from Narnia. He wastes no time. Racing down the steps, he bursts into his mother's dimly lit bedroom. She is still, pale and frail, lying weakly against the pillows. But Digory does not hesitate. He places the apple beside her. She takes it in her trembling hands, brings it to her lips, and takes a bite. And almost at once, something remarkable happens. A soft glow spreads across her face, warmth filling the room. The dullness in her eyes fades, replaced by light and life. And for the first time in a long, long while, she smiles. She is healed, not by stolen magic, not by selfish desire, but by a gift freely given. And as Digory watches his mother sit up, strength in her limbs once more, he knows he made the right choice. With his mother recovering, there is still one last task to be done. Digory and Polly take the magic rings, the cause of so much wonder and danger, and bury them deep in the earth, never to be used again. But the apple has one final legacy. After his mother finishes eating it, Digory takes the apple core and buries it in the backyard. And from that tiny seed, a tree begins to grow. The tree grows strong, standing for many years. But time moves on, and one day, after a great storm, the tree is knocked down. Not wanting to waste its wood, Digory has an idea. He takes the fallen tree and has it crafted into a wardrobe, a simple, unassuming piece of furniture. But this wardrobe is no ordinary wardrobe. It holds a secret, a connection to the world of Narnia. And one day, many years later, a little girl named Lucy Pevensey will step inside, and the adventure will begin once more. And so, The Magician's Nephew closes its final chapter. This is not just a story about adventure. It is a tale of temptation, courage, and choice. Digory, faced with the greatest test of his life, chose wisdom over selfishness. And because of that choice, Narnia was protected, and his mother was healed. This book gives us something invaluable: the origins of Narnia. It answers the questions of where the White Witch came from, how Narnia was created, and why the wardrobe became a gateway. It is a prequel done right, full of heart and wonder. What do you think about The Magician's Nephew? Have you read it? Did this summary make you want to revisit Narnia's beginnings? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to LitLoomTales, and tell us which magical book you'd like us to cover next.